Welcome to the first section of the Canvas Quick Start Guide. This video demonstrates how to cross-list courses you receive from Infinite Campus. The main reason you would want to cross-list courses that you receive from Infinite Campus is so that you can increase the efficiency and workflow of your Canvas courses. For example, I'll be an English teacher today, and I will teach 3 different sections of the same English content, and when I make assignments, if I do not cross-list my courses, I have to recreate that assignment 3 times. If I do cross-list my courses, I can create the assignment once, and I can assign it to 3 different sections that I have. So it increases that efficiency. So the first thing I have to do then is go ahead up to my courses up here. And you'll notice in my courses, I have a first period, I have a 4B, and I have a 6. So this number up on the left-hand side here will tell you which period it is that you have from Infinite Campus. So this is 1, 4B, and 6. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to take my 4B course and my 6 course, and I'm going to go ahead and cross-list those into my number 1 so that I can only assign things, or so that when I assign things to my number 1, my 4B and my 6 will also get it. So I'm going to go ahead and head into my first course that I see up here, and I recommend that you do the same. Just start with the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. And when I get into this course then, I'm going to have a dashboard that looks like this, and my courses will start on Published. So I'll go down to the bottom here where it says Settings, and this is the course settings. So I'm going to go ahead and click on those course settings. And then when I get into my course settings, I'll notice here that I have a name of my course. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually rename this first section to the overall name of my course. So it sounds a little complicated at first, so I'm going to show you what's going to happen. I'm going to first of all remove the period from this one. So I'm going to get rid of my first period, and I'm going to leave that 1121 there. And then I'm going to add my last name to the end of this. So I'm going to also get rid of this little English 1 right here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that English 1 there because this is an English 1 course. So I'm going to go ahead and say English 1. I'm going to type in Jeffers at the end there. I'm going to put a space after that. I'm going to type 15-16 for the school year. And then this is going to be my semester 1 course. So now what I have is the beginning of my course here is 1121 hyphen 1 English 1. And then I have Jeffers, 15-16, and semester 1. I'm probably going to take this now and just write that down on a scratch sheet of paper so I don't forget the name of that course right there. I'm going to need that in just a moment. So now I'm going to go ahead into to the bottom of this page and go ahead and push Update Course Details. That's now changed the name of that first course. And what's going to happen is that that's going to be the name of my overall courses as soon as I get the other ones cross-listed into this one. Okay, now that I've successfully changed the name of my course, which I can see now, that's going to be my master course that I'll teach from throughout this year. What I need to do next is take these other courses, my 4B and my 6, and try to take those and cross-list them into this one, so that I can have greater efficiency. One of the things that's very important inside of Canvas, and in fact inside of pretty much all web-based applications, is understanding URLs. This is really quick, but this URL on the top here is basically like an address, kind of like your house has an address. And if the address is incorrect when someone sends something to your house, it won't get to your house usually. The same thing that goes with a URL. So my main course here is my 1121 English 1 Jeffers 15-16 semester 1. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And what's going to happen is that it's going to refresh a little bit in this corner here. It's going to kind of take some time. And once it is finished, this is now the address of my course. So it's refreshed. At the end of every Canvas course, there is a specific number. And this number is the course ID number for your class. So right now, my main course here, this English 1 Jeffers 1516, that is course ID number 382, and that's what Canvas will recognize as my course number. That becomes very important because when I go ahead and cross-list these classes, I have to cross-list them into course number 382 because that's my master course. Now you guys are going to have a different number up at the top there because there can only be one number 382 in our organization, and I will have that 382 for this particular section now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start cross-listing. So I'm going to go over here to courses. I'm going to click on 4B, and you'll notice that my 4B one has a different address. My 4B is 407. Okay, but I'm going to stick with 382, which is the one that I need to have my 4B cross-listed into. So to go ahead and cross-list a course, I go into the course that I want to cross-list and go down to Settings. And again, you only have to do this one time per semester. After that point, it takes everything and pushes them into the same course, and you can teach from basically just one course, even though you have multiple sections. So what I've done there is I've gone ahead and clicked on Settings. Okay, I'll just go back and do that again. So I'll click on Settings, and what I'll do next is go ahead and click on the course section. So I only have one course section inside this 4B one because I haven't made any other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 4B right there again. And now I'm going to take this and cross-list it into my other course. So I have cross-list this section on the right-hand side way over here, and I'm going to go ahead and cross-list this now into my other course. So I'm going to click cross-list this section, and it says you can search for the course. Now one of the reasons we don't want to just search for the course is because if I type in 1121, you're going to see all of these 1121 English courses that came over from Infinite Campus. That's a very inefficient way to search for it. So what I could do next now is just type in that 382 because that's the course ID, the Canvas course ID. When I push enter, you'll notice that I have only one course under 382, and that's the one that I renamed already. That's 11211, English 1, Jeffers 1516, Semester 1. So that's the only course that pops up, and I get this little blue button that says cross list this section. So I'm going to take my 4B over here, and I'm going to push that 4B into my main course. So I'll go ahead and push cross list this section. And then what starts to happen is you'll see some refreshing going on up there. And then what happens, what it doesn't look like what had happened, but what actually did happen is that you'll see that my ID and my address at the top here has now switched back to 382 because this 4B class is now a part of my 382. Okay, so it's a part of my main one. So when I go up to courses now, you're going to see that I suddenly I have fewer courses than I had before. My 4B has now been enveloped by this 1121 English 1 Jeffers course. Okay, so if I go to that course, then I can go ahead into my settings just to double check that it worked. So I'll click on settings, and I want to check my sections just to make sure that my 4B actually came over into here. So this is great. Now I notice that my first period is part of this course, and my 4B period is also a part of this course. So everything's going well so far. But I do have one left to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one next. So I know that my course that I'm cross-listing into, it's always 382. That's going to be my main course for me as Jeffers, the English teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 6 now. And when I go into 6, I do the same thing I did before as I go down to my settings. And when I get down to settings, I have to go over to where it says sections again. And this is the same step I did just before. I'm just doing it again because I have 3 sections of English that I teach. So I go ahead and click on this number 6 right here. And that takes me into the area that allows me to cross-list. And the cross-list, this section is over on the right-hand side again. So I go ahead and click on cross-list. And then, again, I'm not going to search for the course in here because this is way too inefficient. Too many classes. So I have to try to remember my course ID. Mine was 382, and then I go ahead and type 382 in here and push enter. It searches for 382 and it knows that there's only one of them, and so I go ahead and push cross list this section. Takes a little bit of time. You'll see it refreshing at the top over here. And then now what it did again is it took me right back into my 382 course, because I now have only one course really up here that I'm teaching. I'm teaching my 1121 English course, and that particular course now has 3 sections in it. If I want to check to make sure all of them are good, I make sure that I go to that class, click on settings, and then I can go over to where it says sections towards the top here. And now these are all 3 of the sections that I have. I have my first period, my 4B, and my period 6. Now, at this point in time, it might not seem like you did anything that is very important, but if you trust us, I promise you, you have done something that is very, very important and also has saved you a lot of time over the course of the next 4 months. Because every time that you assign something, or every time that you start a discussion, or basically do anything else that involves all of your students, you will now only have to do it once, and you can assign it to all 3 of those sections. You will not have to continue to make 3 separate discussions or 3 separate assignments or 3 separate announcements. They're all tied into one course, and now your courses will be more streamlined and a lot more efficient. Thanks for listening. If you need some help, please make sure to contact a tech coach. We will help you out as soon as we can. We're happy that you're getting started with Canvas.